So, as father of the bride, Hannah here, it's my job to begin the speeches and say some things that I'd like to say about Hannah and Migz and what they mean to us as a family. So I'm leaving the comedy to Trav and Brad a bit later on. No pressure, lads. So my name's Paul, I'm Hannah's dad. I've met most of you, but not all of you. But it's been my amazing luck and pleasure in life to be dad to this young woman, looking so stunning and gorgeous next to me. And I'd never have imagined that I'd be doing a speech like this in such one of my favourite parts of the world and in a place like this. I've always been proud of my daughter Hannah, but today, and I speak for Deb as well and Mum, this is a really proud moment. So I'll come to a bit more about Hannah and Migz in a moment. But one of my tasks is to, although we've been here for a while, is to welcome you all to Hannah and Migz's wedding. Though for me, it almost feels like they've invited us on their honeymoon as well. Hannah and Migz wanted to celebrate the occasion with both their closest family and their closest friends. So first of all, I'd like to welcome their friends. It's brilliant that you've all been able to get here. I was thinking about 20, but there's about 40 of you. I'm amazed. But I know it means a lot to them. And you all look absolutely fabulous. And in fact, the old folks here have been really impressed by you. I'd also like to welcome the families. Migz's dad, Manuel, Sharon, all the way from Cape Town via Bournemouth, as I know. Paula, where's Paula? Paula, Migz's mum. Deb, the mother of the bride. My friend Kim, who's known Hannah since she was little. And of course, Tom, her brother, and Anna, his partner. And in fact, I was thinking, this is quite an international gathering we've ended up with, so fantastic. So, moving on to Hannah. When I was preparing this as the doting father, I could only think of lovely things to say about Hannah. I've always been, as I say, been hugely proud to introduce Hannah as my daughter to anyone. And in character, she's kind, thoughtful, caring, and I always think her first thought is to try to make things okay for everyone else. But then I thought, this has got to sound realistic. So people have got to believe me. So I asked her mum, and this wasn't the first thing she said, but she mentioned words like stubborn, opinionated, argumentative, and total drama queen. Surely not Hannah, I said. Now, does any of this ring true? Paige? But then it's been a mum who's been a sounding board and closest confidant. So she probably knows more than anyone what she's like. And in fact, the first thing Deb said about Hannah was read the words she writes in the card she sends, witness her patience, thoughtfulness and kindness to all her family and friends, and you'll know her true self. Oh. So, but there is another side to Hannah. And at one point I was thinking it's my duty to let Migz know, but I think he knows already. She's got I would say, another determined and single-minded and often brave side to herself as well. And for me, nothing sort of demonstrated this more than the quiet discipline and commitment that she showed in over 10 years as a gymnast from the age of 5 and then as a coach. And I know some of you've known her for that long. Then as a coach in her teens and into her 20s. And I always think her tumbling and vaults still look dangerous and terrifying to me. Mind you, Han, do you remember our gym routine? Yes. Yeah, well, perhaps we give that a go after a few drinks later, shall we? One particular primary school sports day sticks in my mind. I watched it with my nephew Luke, and this quiet, polite girl at primary school must have surprised the boys in the class by taking them on and beating them in the school sprint. And I always remember that. And in fact, I think she's secretly annoyed that she doesn't get the better of Migz when they go out for a run these days. Hannah's always been prepared to take things on and seriously give them her best shot. And I think this wedding today is a great example of that. So while she's done all this while fitting in her schoolwork, going on to university at Bournemouth and joining some of you in the cheer team at uni. And I think Hannah would agree that what she has done and achieved has been hugely helped by the day-to-day parenting and support from her mum, Deb. So thank you. But she wasn't always fearless and caring. That's Hannah I'm talking about. I can remember when she was about 3 years old, screaming in terror as a little train ride by the seaside at Folkestone crept past us at about 3 miles an hour. Or about the same age, bobbling around, crying her eyes out on a bouncy castle at Margate. So a sporting career didn't start exactly well. And when I spoke to Tom about Hannah, we both remembered emotionally charged games of frustration. I don't know if you know that game. That pop-up dice on a Friday or Saturday night. And Kim, you played in some of these as well. Hannah would transform into the most competitive sister and daughter you've ever met. Kindness and caring out the window. Laughing and gloating as we lost. Complaining bitterly at the unfairness of it all if we might celebrate any of our small victories. It was a daft and simple game, but it really used to make us laugh. So, Han, we love you for who you are and are proud to have watched you morph from a quiet toddler to a cheeky young girl to a hard-working teenager and finally into the wonderful, self-assured woman you've become today. I mentioned cheer earlier, which brings me on to how Miguel and Hannah met. And I have to change my speech a little bit here, but I was going to say Miguel tells a lovely story, but he told that lovely story earlier on this afternoon. And I jotted down here that I've enjoyed it more than once, so I know he likes it. Of how he spotted Hannah at I thought it was a cheer social event, but obviously it wasn't quite, was there? But fresh as fair. He made a beeline for her, though I think it took a couple of meetings for Hannah to actually cotton on. But among other things, the way he tells that story, and again I thought that today, told me that he thinks Hannah's a very special young woman. Mind you, I also thought shrewd operator, hanging out with the Bournemouth uni cheer team. So that brings me on to Migz. So first impressions of Migz: polite, charming, confident, knew how to behave with his girlfriend's parents, gentle South African accent, seemed smart, knowledgeable, an old head on young shoulders. But it turns out you can't rely on first impressions. No, I'm obviously only joking, Migz. I've liked Migz from the first time I met him. And when we met Paula for the first time, and I hope I'm not misquoting you, but you said that when Hannah came round, she was like a little ray of sunshine. And it sort of stuck in my mind. And I realised that it's the small things like that help you make judgments about people and families. And given Hannah was away from home, I've always felt secure and confident that they'd look out for her and she'd be okay. So I thank you, Migz. Thank you, Paula. So when Migz rang me to ask permission to marry Hannah, I was delighted. As a couple together, they make a great team, and I think they want the same things in life. And one of the lovely things I've observed is how they listen to and look after each other. They prove they go together well. They share a love of keeping fit and going to the gym, and I think a work ethic that means they've already achieved a lot together. Getting their own flat, and in the last couple of years, buying a house and revamping it pretty much throughout. So it isn't a new life they're embarking on. It's one they already have established so well. So I'm coming to a conclusion here. I thought to make their marriage and social life complete, we have a little gift for both Migz and Hannah. Kim, Deb, Tom and I thought they should continue to share the thrills, highs and lows, just in case they get on too well, with their very own game of frustration. So finally, I'd like to propose a toast to wish Hannah and Migz success in the future. I was looking around for a suitable quote, and I found this in a lovely little book called The Boy, which you might know, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. And the boy asked the mole, "What do you think success is?" And the mole says to love. These two love each other very much. So whatever life throws at them, they're already successful. So my toast to Migz and Hannah, if you've got a glass to raise, is success and love. So success and love. Thank you. Very done.
Wow, speech. Brilliant. You can't run out.
Hey?
How you can relax. Oh, brilliant.
Very almost ready.
So lovely.
Harriet,
They're easy to write.
Yeah, yeah.
do you need